Hey fam, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another live swatching video. I am so stoked today. I'm going to be live swatching something I've never live swatched before. Jouer? I don't know how to pronounce this brand, but I know they have an actual pronunciation on their website. Alright, let's look it up. Jouer. Let's go to Jouer's website. No shade, I'm just kidding. I'm just being like funny. Jouer, a French verb to play. Jouer is jouer. I'm not on the Jouer PR list, so I did order this myself just to put that out there, you guys. And I'm excited. I've never tried their shadows before. So this was a limited edition bundle, or I believe it's limited edition because it's a bundle, you know what I mean? I don't think they will sell it together forever. And I know that it sold out fast and they're still having a slow processing time. Oh my God, my stomach's growling. I'm going to Burger King right after this. I cannot lie. I want to try the Cheeto. What's it, just like a deep fried Cheeto? Hell yeah. I need that shit. So there was a lovely little bundle deal where you could get this palette as well as one of the new highlighter shades, as well as, like seriously, this is a lot of product. The Skinny Dip Lip Top Coat, also Pamplemousse Lip Cream, as well as a Skinny Dip Lip Topper, which I believe was just an added bonus into the set, which was $98, so it was a more expensive set, but you do get a lot of product. Like, this is a lot. If I went to Ulta Beauty or Sephora and I bought a palette, a highlighter, and two lips, it probably would come to about $98, if not more. So I was fine with the price and everything, and plus I did use a discount code. I believe I used either Chloe Morello's or I used Miss Lola Lynn's. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but I did use a discount code and I do appreciate that. So thank you to whoever let me use their discount code. The shadow palette retails for $40 on its own if you did not want to buy it in the set. The Skinny Dip highlighter is priced just like their normal highlighters. They do have other shades. There were two new shades that they were introducing with this collection. It was this one right here, which is again called Skinny Dip. Holy crap, I've said that word so much now. There was also Tan Lines, which I believe is a deeper, it's more of like a bronze shade. The Skinny Dip highlighter is, or Tan Lines, depending on which shade you use, is going to be $24 by itself. There are two lip toppers in the kit which sell for $16 a piece. I have them now in Saint Tropez and Skinny Dip. And then there's a long wear lip cream, and this is $18. And this is in the shade Pamplemousse, which I really like that name. I think it's fun to say. If you're unfamiliar with live swatches, it's basically where I try each new product on my face so you can see how it really applies and how it goes on. For this particular palette, you guys, I think it would be great to do each shadow on both eyes, one side with a primer and one side without a primer, so we can see how much of that shimmer really goes on. Now, of course, I don't recommend applying your shadows without a primer. That kind of sounds like, well, does SHAE, of course, might not apply that well. But people still, especially right now in this heightened makeup time, it seems like people really want to see both options. So I'm just going to put it out there and you guys can make your decisions from that. And of course, we're going to try on the highlighter, we're going to try on the lips, we're going to try everything out. So if you guys are ready, let's get started. So for my base, I'm actually going to take the Becca Cosmetics Eye Brightener. It's what I've really been into lately as using my base for shadows. I got a little on my brush, my Sigma Beauty Precision Angled P84. And let's decide this is our primer eye, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and lay a little bit of that brightening product right onto my lid. Now the clean brush and a dry brush. I made sure that there's no like brush cleaner left on my brush. There's no water on it. Nothing to help assist pick up the shadow. We're going to jump into the first shade, which is called Starlight. It's pretty much just a really taupey silver. Probably even more silver than taupe. So I'm going to start laying this down. Whoa, that is pigmented. I'm very lightly tapping onto my lid. And this is the lid with the primer, remember. So this does have some assistance in grabbing onto my lid. And I always like to bring it up to the brow bone. I'm not going to do it real intensely, but just to kind of, so you guys can get the full effect of the shadow, I'm going to take my clean Sigma blending brush and run that over the edges to blend out. It does move well without stripping the color, which is nice to see. Sometimes when you go and blend on those shimmery shadows, it like takes it right away. But this does look like it's sticking around. I'm going to take another E59 that does not have any primer on it. We at least didn't use it on this side in case the primer transfers. I don't know. I'm being overly cautious. I know that. Let's take Starlight again and see how it holds up on its own without any primer. And I can't lie, that looks pretty pigmented even without a primer. Just so you guys know, I did set my lids with Laura Mercier powder before this video so that they would be like free of oil and all that. So that is pretty amazing. I'm getting a lot on without any primer or oil on my lid. Wowza, wowza, wowza. They like legit almost look identical to me. This is the lid without any primer on it. I'm kind of seeing if it's going to smudge around or move. It's just this sheer sparkly metallic, and then over here this looks more of like aluminum foil. It looks gorgeous, and I love that dimension when I move my eyes. This eye here, it also is a great metal foil look, but it does have more of a glitter look to it to me. Like without the primer, it does look like bits of glitter more. It does of course 100% look better with the primer. It just makes it that smooth, strong, foiled, like liquid silver it looks like on my eyes. But the one without primer, I still like it just fine. It looks really pretty, actually. All right, let's jump right into the next shade. The next one here is called Bikini, which looks like a really lovely light pink, like a little 80s, I guess, if you will. Appears to be not picking up very well on my brush, but it just appears that way. I don't know. We're gonna have to see how much just got on my lid, but that one, at first glance, it doesn't look like my brush picked up much of it, but maybe my eyes deceived me. No, is it more sheer? This kind of seems a little bit more sheer to me. I do want you guys to see, I'm not like digging, I'm like more or less swirling to kind of loosen it up. Maybe it's just a little tight from, I don't know, being poured in there or whatever. Let's start packing that on. And I did already put on my primer, you guys. Not that it's a primer, but I use it as a shadow base all the time. I don't see that it's anything different than like a MAC Painterly paint pot. Not necessarily shade-wise, but you know what I mean. Oh my gosh. Okay, so even though this one did not go on perfectly at first, it's such a unique pink shade. I swear it's like pink with like a lime green duochrome in it. I don't know. It is very interesting to me though. I hope you guys are going to be able to pick up on this color. Yeah, I think I really like this shade, you guys. Let's go on to the other side now with my non-primer brush. It's actually not applying much at all. Now you can really see what I mean. Like this is like super duper sheer without primer. And of course, again, I don't want you guys to think that this makes it a bad eyeshadow because you're supposed to use eyeshadow primer. Like your shadows typically probably are pretty crappy without a good primer, you know? But this way you can kind of get an idea of what it's like. Interesting. I still don't hate it. I still don't hate it. It's still a magical color to me. However, it's just definitely not as magical without primer. This eye is just the winner. It's, I love it with primer. I absolutely love this shade, you guys. I think it's beautiful. Yeah, it's glowy. It's really pretty. But on this side, it looks like nothing unique. It looks like just a basic shimmer. But on this eye, it's like, yes, that is unicorn magic right there. That is unicorn magic. Next up, let's jump into Skinny Dip. Oh, which is, of course, you know, what the palette is named. So I would figure this would be like their signature foil shade. I don't know. I'm just probably making that up. So let's first take Skinny Dip on my primed lid. Oh, wowza. That is nice. I do really like this shade. I really do like this palette so far. Despite the slight trouble the past shadow gave me without primer, because again, you should use primer, but the colors, in my opinion, are very unique. And that's just not something, and this is no shade. Do not take this as shade. That's just not something we see a lot in the makeup community anymore, like really unique shades coming out. I love this shade though, I do. It's like a khaki, I guess, like an olivey. Yeah, like a khaki. A khaki would probably be a better description. Let's now try Skinny Dip on the lid that has no primer, no anything like that. And see how that applies. Okay, it's getting there. Oh, it's applying pretty fine. It's definitely applying better than Bikini did. It's so similar to Starlight in the way that it feels micro fine and smooth, and it is applying beautifully. That was my first dip into the palette, and I think that's pretty good, and I do think it's very pretty. Not using a primer definitely changes the look. I'm going to add one more layer to my non-primed lid because that's about how much I put on my other eye with primer. Gosh, I love the effect you get from both of them. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I thought they might be all crap without primer, but they're really not. It brings a whole different unique element to it. It looks like a wheat color, right? It looks like a very weedy, a weedy type of shimmer. I am so jazzed for this next shade. Like when I opened the palette, this shade, well, these actually like last three, I was like, oh, they're so beautiful. I pray to God they look as great on the lid as they do in the pan. So we're gonna go into Tan Line. This looks like a lovely deep bronze with this kind of olivey, again, olivey gold reflect. And we'll start building that up on my lid with primer first. Oh, that is pretty. You guys know I love a real like grungy, and I don't mean to call this dirty or dingy, but you know I love a dirty, dingy looking eye. And I could probably create one pretty well with this shadow. This looks beautiful. Oh, this just looks like everything to me. I'm just taking a little blending brush, a dry blending brush around the edges to help smooth or buff that out. But this looks freaking gorgeous. It's actually reminding me a little bit of a MAC shadow. What is that one called? It's like antique gold or antique bronze. Am I on the right track? I don't know. It's been so long since I used it, but I swear MAC has an antique shade that really reminds me of this. Do you see how like when I move, it gives like the most beautiful dimension? That's what I love about shadows like this. Like it's just one of those ones you can buff all over the eye. Just wear this in a lot of mascara. And of course we have to try it without primer as well. So I'm going to start packing that on this lid. Oh wow, that one is really applying well without any primer. And just so you guys know, I do keep setting my lid with a Laura Mercier setting powder so that the oils of my makeup remover do not, you know, stick to my lid and make that kind of a hybrid primer, if you will. And they're not bad without a primer, they just look different. Oh, I love this shade. I would wear this without a primer or with a primer. Do you see what I mean? How this one, again, with the primer, it is just so foiled. It's so metallic. It's so smooth looking. Oh, I'm just obsessed with this shadow. With the primer, to me, it's everything. And then on this eye, it's still beautiful. It's a yummy chocolate brown, I'd say, with more of a gold foil. They're just so similar, but still so different with the same shadow. You could definitely do a lot with this. You could get a lot of looks. Oh, I love. Okay, so far my favorite shadows are Skinny Dip and Tan Lines are like bae, but of course I did really love Bikini, even though it was a little tricky without a primer. It didn't really do much, but with a primer, it was like unicorn madness, magic, amazing. Next up in this palette, you guys, we're gonna jump into Magic Hour, which is like the second most excited for shadow I was. So let's take Magic Hour right on the lid. Ooh, like super micro fine glitter. And I can't say it's glitter, but is it mica? I don't know what they used to create this. I do love how well it buffs out. It does blend out very nicely. You totally just use one of these shades all over the lid, blend it up to the brow bone, and call it a day. Oh, it's very pretty. I don't love it as much as I thought I would. I think I'd like it on top of other shades, but it's just not my favorite shade. It's just a little like meh to me. It's pretty, but it's like eh. Let's bounce over and try it on a non-primed lid. See how we like it. Again, it's a little bit more difficult to apply now without the primer. It's not grabbing quite as well, but that didn't make it like awful. It's still like a really pretty sheer shimmer. So you can definitely build up Magic Hour with or without an eyeshadow primer. Again, not that that matters, and you should probably always use primer for best effect, but this way you guys can see how it is, you know, both ways. I would also say there is some fallout, but it's not the worst fallout I've ever had, which I find impressive. Yeah, I didn't love this one on as much as I thought I would. I thought the color would be, like, I don't know, I guess a little deeper. I guess I'm excited to try the next one, the deepest one in the palette, because this was just a little light for me. Let me actually swatch it next to the Starlight shade. Starlight's like a true silver, and I would say this is like a true steel. It's like a true, oh my god, look at Starlight though on my finger swatch. Like, that is intense. That's an intense shimmer. There they both are on my hand. I know that's a really shitty swatch, I'm sorry. But just so you can compare, that's Starlight versus Magic Hour. Magic Hour is noticeably deeper. It's a lot more like a steel shade, whereas Starlight is just a really true and pure silver, in my opinion. It's not bad. I was just hoping for a different color, but that's okay. Last but not least, you guys, we're gonna try Midnight Swim, which looks like the deepest one of the palette here. And maybe it's like an espresso? I don't know. I've been wrong before, so let's pop this on my primer lid first. Ooh, that is like super like deep and like sooty and like, I like it. Oh, I think this is like pretty much almost what I wanted from Magic Hour. So I almost wonder if I put this on and then Magic Hour like in the middle of it, if it would just be exactly what I'm looking for. I don't know, we'll have to save that for a tutorial. Let me know if you'd like to see me use this in a tutorial, please. Oh. This one is just pigment, pigment, pigment for days, like literally. I think this is definitely what I wanted from the other one that I was not getting, but that's okay because she was hiding for me. She was right here. I'm really enjoying this shade, and to me it's like less shimmery. Like the shimmer is definitely there, but it's like it's more just like an overall metallic shadow. But I swear I can still see some like matte, some of the matte shadow in there. It's not overly shimmery, truly. Now let me pop it onto the no primer lid. I think the theme seems to be the deeper the shade, the more likely you can apply some of it without primer, but this one actually is struggling as well. It's like the shimmer isn't sticking almost, but just like the brown is kind of smearing on. This one I don't like without primer. I don't know. You guys need to let me know. No, I still like it. It's just very subdued. It's very mild without a primer. Interesting, you guys. It's so crazy how different they look. I mean, maybe it's not that crazy. You guys probably all think I'm silly, but truly I'm so glad we tried it on because I normally do it like completely without primer or all completely with primer. I'm glad we did both this time. Not to beat this like with a bat over and over. Is that the phrase? I don't know, but I would purchase this again. I did buy it myself, you guys. I am not a Jouer affiliate. So far, this was fantastic, and I could see myself using, I will use all these shades to either complement a bunch of other looks or just use it on its own. I think this would be great for travel. So I like it. I like it. It's SHAE approved. Next, moving on, I'm going to try the Skinny Dip highlighter, you guys. This also came in my bundle, and it's one of the 2 new shades. There was Skinny Dip, and then there was Tan Lines, I believe. I'm going to take this with my FO3 High Cheekbone brush from Sigma Beauty. I'm going to take that, and let's run it on the cheekbone. Duh. But that is pretty. I thought this would be almost like NARS Orgasm-y in the way it kind of looks like a peachy color, but it has like a gold sheen to it. Let me put it there and let me bring it up. Woo! I'm lit, y'all. Lit to the gods. Now I can't stop. I was trying to see if there is like a pink sheen. I do see a bit of a pink hue. Yes, I see it now. When I turn, when the shadow kind of falls on it and it's not glowing, I do see a pink finish. That does sometimes bother me because I'm like, I don't know, I don't necessarily want my highlight to look pink when it's not lit, you know, because my blush will be pink. My blush is, I don't, unless they're sheer enough. And this one actually is. Like, this one I totally will wear. I wish they wouldn't put that pink sheen there. On some people, I bet it's really pretty. On me, I'm probably just a little too fair for it. I'm gonna add some to my nose here. You don't need a lot though, so that's what makes me think that I could definitely manage this. You truly only need to put it on for like a second and then you're lit, you know what I mean? Like, it does a really nice brightening job. I like to add just a little in my forehead area. I don't know. Just gonna kind of put it everywhere so we can kind of see how it does. I like a little on the chin and of course a Cupid's bow. Sure is interesting. I do like it. I don't like it with this eyeshadow, but I do like it. I like it. I do. I like it. I think it will be fun for summer. I think it's a good summer highlighter. Last up, we just have the 3 lips to try on. One of them is not necessarily new. I believe, what is it? Saint-Tropez? Or is it Skinny Dip? One of these is not new, but I'm not familiar. So I'm going to try all of these on for you guys. 2 are the lip toppers and 1 is the lip cream. Let's start with the lip toppers, and I'm going to start with Skinny Dip, which I believe is already a permanent and very popular lip top coat. And I'm pretty sure it inspired this entire collection because it's just like their iconic lip topper, you know what I'm saying? So cool. It smells like cupcakes, which is freaking fantastic. There it is on sheerly, or you could even pack it on. So there you have Skinny Dip, of course. I do love how smooth they are. Like, you don't feel any of the glitter, any of the chunk, which is really interesting to me. Everything they use must be like really micro-fine. Not everything they use, but like in these products that I've tested, they must have really micro-fine little shimmers in there. I don't know, it's so weird how you can't feel it, but it is like super duper shimmery. I like it. The next lip topper is called Saint-Tropez, which I'm so freaking excited for. Since I saw this, I was just like, it really looks like the little pink shadow in the Skinny Dip palette, but it reminds me of like unicorns, like rose gold unicorn horns or something. It's a really pretty color. I just think it's really pretty. I haven't seen it on, but I think it's pretty in the bottle. And of course, these are lip toppers, so they probably look better on top of like, you know, another lip product. Oh my gosh, what did I say? Okay, so I would probably never wear this alone. It is so freaking metallic. It's like super duper frosted. It's totally bringing me back to the 80s. If I had this and that pink shadow on my lids, I would be like full on 80s glam. I definitely don't like it alone. I'm sure it's gonna look a million times better on top of a lip product already. This one though, it is very unicorn-like I thought. I see blue glitter, green glitter, pink glitter in it. And I'll say that this one's also a little bit chunkier, not even a little bit. This one's definitely chunkier than the Skinny Dip lip top coat. There is an obvious grit filling, but again, you could just pop it in the middle, which is probably what I will do when I use this. Lastly, you guys, I'm going to swatch Pamplemousse Lip Cream. I love the name Pamplemousse. I don't know what it is, but I like it. I need a friggin' dictionary. Whoa. That is, first of all, this is so thin, which is the first thing that I noticed, is that it feels like nothing. Honestly, it's probably like the thinnest one I've tried, so I could probably just compare it to all of them. Oh, fudge. I always just look like a drowned rat by the end of these live swatching videos. This shade is really kind of amazing. It's strange to me, but for some reason, like, I can't look away. It's one of those. I don't know. I don't know. I like freaking, like, I hate it, and then I love it, and then I hate it, and then I love it. By itself, though, it's a little too metallic for me. It's, like, making me think of just, like, I don't know, again, the 80s. I keep referencing the 80s, but this collection made me think of it a lot. I love this headband. I got it from Forever 21, but also I think it, like, makes me ugly. I don't know. Well, this has all been super duper interesting, you guys. I look insane. Do not judge me, please. My favorite thing in the whole collection was definitely the eyeshadow palette. I'll just get the most use out of this. I love shades like this. They were all so unique and different to me. I definitely don't have a palette that has every single, like, a shade like this in it. I don't have it. And I might have some of these kind of individually, but I don't think any of the ones I have are as smooth as these are. Like, these just feel, like, unbelievably smooth. I don't know if you can tell on my fingers there how, like, smooth they look, and just, like, very thin, fine, micro-fine glitter. Yeah, I don't know. That looks like Neapolitan ice cream or something. Yeah, I really liked these. I really like this palette. I really like the highlighter. That's what's really grown on me the most. When I first applied it, I'll admit, I was like, hey, okay, I could take it or leave it. I like it, but I don't love it. But I don't hate it. It's still okay, and someone out there will probably like it. But now I'm like, every time I catch myself, I'm like, oh girl, you glowing. Like, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Let me know which collection I should live swatch next. And also, if you see a brand upload a new makeup collection, it'd be really cool if you guys could tag me on that post to let me know, like, what's coming out. Sometimes I don't see certain things, and I don't get the PR from every brand. So if you're just cruising on Twitter or you're cruising through Instagram and you see a brand post a new makeup, tag me at ThatGirlShaeXo and say, Shay, live swatch this. That way I can save it on my Instagram. I can literally save it in a folder of things I need to live swatch. Now that you can make those cool little collections on Instagram, which I really like. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know your final thoughts on Jouer or this collection. Have you picked it up? Will you be picking it up? What do you think? I love you guys. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!